You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. Feel what I'm saying? You can tap in, you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. So let's get right into it now. You already know. You already know. Time and energy, highest forms of currency, my G. Time and energy are the highest forms of currency. You understand me? I know they got you out here chasing the bag, chasing that money, chasing that mac and cheese. You understand me? No pun intended. But keep in the front of your mental Rolodex that time and energy is the highest forms of currency at all times. Always keep that in front of your mental Rolodex. Time and energy. Now, we're going to get right into this. Salute to everybody that's tapped into the channel. Salute to everybody that's locked in. You feel what I'm saying? It's a lot going on in the industry right now. You understand? You see the thumbnail. You see the title. And we're going to talk about this. Now, everybody knows what happened. RIP to Gillie the kid's son. You know what I mean? This his oldest son lost his life last night in Philadelphia to gun violence. You understand what I'm saying? A tragic situation. And again, I want to say RIP to that young man for losing his life out there in Philadelphia. But it's dangerous in Philly. I spent some years in Philly, got some good money in Philadelphia. You feel what I'm saying? And I know firsthand that Philadelphia is a dangerous, dangerous area. But when you are playing within this industry, when you are playing within this industry, when you are dealing with the higher ups and the elites, it's 10 times more dangerous. 10 times more dangerous. Now, you know, Gillie the Kid, Wallow, $1 million worth of game. We all know the podcast. We all know the brand. You understand me? And one thing for sure, two things for certain, they came from the bottom and they made it to the top. They came from the bottom and they made it to the top. And, if anybody or if nobody wants to talk about this, it is what it is. I'm going to speak on it. On their way to the top, the doors were open for Gillie and Wallow. The doors were open. Some people call it the Nori doors. I just call it the doors. They were open for Gillie and Wallow, and they accepted. They accepted. You understand me? Now, this is where it gets tricky at. Recently we all saw Gillie and Wallow sign a contract worth $100 million. $100 million contract that they obviously was going to split down the middle. 50 million here, 50 million there. That's a lot of paper. That's a lot of paper to a Gillie and a Wallow, but it's pennies to the higher ups and the elites. Pennies. You understand what I'm saying? They obviously saw something in Gillie and Wallow. They saw something in the brand. And when you can't see through the smoke and mirrors, you just think that they found opportunity. You just think that they're talented podcasters. It's deeper than rap. It gets deep, it gets wicked, and it's always deeper than rap. And that's why we here. So again, they signed the contract for 100 M's. $100 million for the $1 million worth of game podcast. But let me ask you a question. When is the last time $1 million worth of game had a podcast that you just had to see? When was the last time that Gillie and Wallow had a podcast that you saw the promotion for it and you saw the promo and you said to yourself, I got to see that podcast. It's no way I got to see this episode. It's been a long time. Ask yourself this question. Have Gillie and Wallow been producing for the higher ups and elites? Have they been producing? They just got $100 million deal. 100 M's. These dudes aren't athletes. These dudes aren't, it's Gillie and his Wallow. Wallow just did 25 years in jail. Gillie is a failed rapper. I mean, when you come to Grown Man Business TV, we got to keep it 100. We got to keep it G. Wallow just did 100 years in jail. Wallow just did 25 years straight in jail, and Gillie is a failed rapper. Why would they be getting $100 million contracts? Why would they be signing those type of contracts? For what? The podcast is not booming. The podcast is not producing, if you ask me. I mean, I can't remember the last $1 million worth of game podcast that I just had to see. You understand what I'm saying? So when you dig into this, when you break into this, when you can see through the smoke and mirrors, you understand that you already walked through the door. You already signed the contract. When you Look at the video. I suggest everybody go rewatch the video that Gillie and Wallow posted while they were signing that contract. It was supposed to be a joyous occasion. It was supposed to be a situation where they're getting $100 million, life-changing money. And, you know, it is supposed to be just this joyous occasion. But when you rewatch it, when you really look at this video, Gillie is crying, but it doesn't look like tears of joy. It doesn't look like Gillie was crying tears of joy. It actually looks like, to me, Gillie was crying tears because he knew he was going to have to pay. Something was gonna have to pay for this $100 million, and it's definitely not no podcast. You understand what I'm saying? Like, it's easy to fool sheep. It's easy to put media out there. It's easy to put content out there and fool the sheep. But the sheep in wolf's clothing, or the wolf in sheep's clothing, or however you want to call it, it's not that easy to fool us. The ones with that third eye open, it's not easy to fool us. Now, this is where it gets deep at. $100 million contract, 100 M's, 50 for you, 50 for Wallow. Wallow been buying Lamborghinis. Wallow been moving through the streets. They've been buying Maybachs. You know, you having a good time, but now it's time to pay up. It's time to pay up now. Let me tell you, let me break this down for you. Your podcast is a big deal. But while you're doing your podcast, what we need, what the higher ups and the elites want, is for you to either push an agenda. You can push the satanic agenda, or you can push the Rainbow Coalition agenda. But one of these agendas you're gonna push. So when you look at a Gillie, you know what I'm saying? I gotta say, Gillie has a high level of integrity. So I could never see Gillie allowing the higher ups and the elites to put him in the dress like they did Pusha T. I could never see Gillie allowing the higher ups and the elites to promote the Rainbow Coalition on his podcast. You know, that Rainbow Coalition on his podcast. You know, the same way Charlemagne the God keeps a rainbow flag in the back of each celebrity that comes and sits down at the Breakfast Club. It's a rainbow flag right behind every celebrity. And when they put that camera on that celebrity, you don't only see the celebrity, you see that rainbow flag. See, that's pushing the agenda. Pushing the agenda with your content. But I couldn't see Gillie doing that. You know, I couldn't see Gillie going and taking a movie role where he got to kiss a man. I don't see Gillie allowing them to put a dress on him. Feel what I'm saying? It is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. I don't see Gillie doing like Lil Uzi Vert and wearing satanic symbols and pentagrams and, you know, upside down crosses, you know, having people dancing around with horns on it. I don't see Gillie bowing down to the agendas that they pushing. So what's the next best thing? If you're not gonna push the agendas of the higher ups and the elites, the next best thing is the blood sacrifice, homie. The next best thing is the blood sacrifice. And this is really how it gets sticky. Because it's not, you know, for a lot of these celebrities, they not just willing to give up one of the closest, some of the closest people to them. It gotta be done in the act of violence. It gotta be gang violence. It gotta be black on black crime. It got to be done a certain way, my G. It gotta be done a certain way. And if you delete yourself, YouTube is real sensitive. YouTube is real sensitive. So I got it. But yeah, you could delete yourself. That's a narrative. Oh, the celebrity's son, he was going through a lot of depression and he deleted himself. Yeah. Or you get caught in the drive-by. You get caught in the black on black crime. You get caught, you know, in the gun violence. These are very easy, simple ways for them to get that sacrifice off without too much digging in detail. It don't have to be, we already know what happened. It ain't going to be a full investigation. It ain't going to be a big deal because we already know how black people do. We already know how the gangs do. You understand what I'm saying? It's when you look at Wallow, when you look at Gillie, these dudes are men of integrity. They're definitely men of integrity, but it's certain things they did that, you know, for the ones that know, if you know, you know. When they sat down with Jay Prince, they didn't have any sympathy for Takeoff and his family. When they sat down with Jay Prince and they allowed Jay Prince to come up there and talk that BS, and they allowed his sons to come onto their platform and talk that BS, that was, you got to know, that was a call from the higher ups and the elites. That was strings pulled from the higher ups and the elites. And no matter how much integrity you have, no matter how much integrity you have, once you get in bed and you walk through them doors and you lay down with the higher ups and elites, you become a puppet. You become Pinocchio. The Geppetto is pulling the strings. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of people are saying, hey man, it's so early. His son just passed away last night. But this is the industry that y'all are engaged in. This is what takes place in this industry. You understand what I'm saying? So again, you gotta ask yourself, how was y'all gonna pay back that $100 million, my G? How was y'all gonna pay that money back? How was y'all gonna pay back? Your podcast is not jumping like that. I can't remember the last time I saw $1 million worth of game podcast that I felt like I had to see. I have not sat down and watched $1 million worth of game podcast since I can remember. So who and how are you collecting that paper? The higher ups and the elites, they got an unlimited cash source. The money is unlimited. $100 million is nothing to them. It's pennies in a bucket. They toss it to you real easy. The person who gave, the dude that gave them the 100 M's is the same dude that called Angela Reese a nappy headed. He's the same dude that called Angela Reese out her name. Those type of people, those ones. If not the higher ups and elites, they right under the high, they right connected to them, and they pass down the money to dudes like Lil Wallow and Gillie. And for us, you know, for us, it looked like a big deal. It looked like life-changing money. We get excited, but you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay up. And a lot of the times, right, it's easy to talk about the humiliation rituals. That's when we gonna get the Kodak Black and 6ix9ine. We gonna talk about that. I did a video last night about Kodak Black and 6ix9ine was doing really good numbers, and they wouldn't let it pass. They got a copyright strike because I showed something, and I understand. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure if they was going, and they did. They not playing. That type of information they don't want out. It's a reason why I'm not in the algorithm, and Lil Zippy with the Drippy is in the algorithm, but I'm okay with that. It's easier to talk about the humiliation rituals. You understand what I'm saying? It's easier to talk about those things, but it's a little bit more touchy when it's a blood sacrifice, because good or bad, you know what I'm saying, like it or not, somebody loses their life in that situation. And however it goes down, people are sensitive, and I understand that. So that's why I'm taking a sensitive approach, but I'm still going to give you the game. I'm not going to do like Hassan Campbell. I'm not, the whole he got his snot box rocked. I ain't into that. But I'm going to give it to you. I'm going to give you the real. 100 M's. Go back and look at that video of Gillie signing the contract for that 100 M's and look at his face. He wasn't crying tears of joy. He knew that he had bowed down to the higher ups and the elites, and he knew he had bowed down to this industry, and he knows what comes with that. When you sign your name on the dotted line, he knows what comes with that, and he was hoping. Gillie the Kid was hoping and praying that this podcast was going to do numbers and take it to Oprah level, take it to Joe Rogan level, so that they could go ahead and pay that paper back in the proper manner without losing somebody close to them. The one thing for sure, two things for certain, they got to give you a choice, and they're going to give you a choice. It's universal law that they give you a choice in the matter. That they give you a choice. So they, I'm sure, you know what I'm saying? I'm 100% sure that Gillie and Wallow was presented with that Rainbow Coalition flag. Hey, Gillie and Wallow, we love your podcast. We love the progression. We invested $100 million into it. But we want you to do like Charlemagne the God and put this rainbow flag in the background. Do you mind that? Do you mind? Do you mind? Do you mind putting this rainbow flag in the background so that our agenda could be pushed? I can see Gillie and Wallow saying, no, we not with that. We not with that. Okay, okay, Gillie, listen. We know you married to Tootie. We know you got a girlfriend, you got a wife. We know you got a family. So how about we put you and give you a movie script? We'll pay you another $25 million, put you in this movie script. But somewhere in this movie script, we're gonna have you in a dress, like Kevin Hart. You from Philly, right? Kevin Hart's from Philly. He didn't mind wearing a dress and a wig, man. Listen, we give you 25 million. You already made 50. That's $75 million. And you can just put a dress on and play this role. You're only acting, Gillie. You're only acting. And I could see Gillie the Kid saying, nah, I ain't with that. I ain't with that. You understand? And once you make those decisions to say, I'm not gonna do this, I'm not gonna do that, I'm not gonna do X, Y, and Z, I'm not with it. Now you have already subconsciously made the decision. You have made the decision now. Well, he doesn't want to push the agenda. Well, little Gillie, listen, okay, listen. Don't worry about the Rainbow Coalition. You're obviously not going to be a good fit for the Rainbow Coalition. We don't even want to see you. We don't even you ain't we like nah. You look like you've been smoking K2 and snorting powder your whole life. We don't really want you involved with the Rainbow Coalition, Gillie. But we would love for you to have some pentagrams. Or we got some fitted hats. We got some Scullies. You seen Little Uzi Vert, right? Little Uzi Vert, yeah, he from Philly just like you. Kevin Hart is from Philly. Little Uzi Vert is from Philly. Look at all the pentagrams that Little Uzi Vert wears. We give him all the merch. He has upside down crosses, earrings. If you could just wear a hat with an upside down cross one or two times for a couple episodes, we really said, hey, man, would kill me if she saw me wearing an upside down cross or devil or something satanic. My mother been going to church for 35 years in Philly. Now they say, well, the only thing left is the sacrifice, homie. And we're not gonna ask you, and we're not gonna tell you. We're not gonna get your permission. You already gave us your permission when you turned down these agendas. When you turned down the agendas, the options we gave you, you turned those options down. And what that does is give us the leadway, the green light to say, all right, we're gonna take something. Kanye West, I could go down the list. Kanye West, listen, Kanye, we love your music, we love your message, but we're gonna need you to wear a dress, Kanye. Kanye, I know it's Jesus Walks, but we're gonna need you to do a song and we're gonna need you to have Lucifer in the video. I know it's Jesus Walks, but we need Lucifer in the imagery. Kanye West say, nah, I ain't with none of that. I ain't budging on none of that. And then he loses his mother. You think they told him we about to take your mother? Nah, they say, okay, let's do that. Okay, well, listen, he ain't about to push our agenda. So now let's do some research. Okay, who he got next to him? Okay, these the people. Here go our options. Oh, wow, his mother's going to get plastic surgery done. Oh, his mother's going to get a BBL done. She already has okay, that's it. Okay, Gillie, you don't want to push the agendas. Well, did you know Gillie's son still lives in Philadelphia, one of the cities with the highest murder rate in the United States? Oh wow, wow. Gillie's son still stays in Philadelphia? You mean to tell me Gillie the Kid, we just gave him $50 million and he didn't move his sons out of Philadelphia? Wow. So you mean to tell me we just gave Gillie and Wallow we just gave Gillie and Wallow $100 million, 50 million apiece, and he didn't get his sons out of Philadelphia? No, no. Gillie didn't. Gillie's buying cars and Gillie's Gillie's and Wallow's buying Lamborghinis, and Gillie and these guys, they're doing what they like to do. But he didn't move his son out of Philadelphia, one of the most dangerous environments in the United States. You got to ask yourself these questions. Oh, wow. Okay, well, there we have it. That's easy. That's easy work. There's our sacrifice right there. His son smokes a lot of weed. His son is always on camera with a blunt. These little black guys, they're smoking all of this weed. We've been putting all of this chemical, man, we've been flooding this cannabis with chemicals. What the fuck? You understand me? Flooding the cannabis with chemicals. And he's high as a kite. Oh yeah, we see Gillie the Kid, Little Cheese. We be seeing them out there in Philly. These guys are high as gas prices. These guys are high as giraffe's ass. This is gonna be an easy. Oh, and we need, listen, and we need blood, my G. We need blood. Yeah, yeah. I'm getting tired of humiliating these guys. See what we just did to Kodak Black. He's doing a song with 6ix9ine. That's the easy route. Every now and then we like to take something. Every now and then it's blood shit. Every now and then we need a sacrifice. And there it is. There it is. And you know what? You know what? Gillie's gonna have to eat this one. He's gonna have to grieve, and he's gonna have to eat this one. And then he's gonna have to come back in front of the public, in front of us, and he's gonna have to pretend as if, he's strong, and he's gonna have to say, things happen, and I'm so hurt about my son losing his life, but things move on. Look at what Wallow said instantly. Wallow put out a tweet or Instagram message, and he said, "Wow, nephew." He said, "Normally when I get to see you, nephew, I got a lot to tell you. But the pain in my heart and the tears that I cried, they spoke to you tonight." He said something like, rest well, or RIP to my nephew. And he said, "Your dad, I got him. I got your daddy." What you mean you get? What you mean you got his daddy? His daddy is good. His daddy is good. Y'all good. Y'all are get y'all. Everything is gonna work out perfectly. And one thing for sure, two things for certain. You guys already know what industry you playing in. You already know how the game go. So I'm just, again, DMs was blowing up last night. Salute to Deshaun. He was in the chat. He was telling me what happened. I got off the chat. I confirmed it, and the DMs was going crazy about this thing with Wallow, and asking my perspective. Big G and BTV, the Oracle. What do you think? What is your perspective? What is your thoughts on everything that's going down with Gillie and his son? And respectfully, I said, you know what? I'm going to do it respectfully, but my listeners want to know. They don't want to. They don't want to hear about everything. They don't want to hear the typical everyday perspective. What they're going to push through the narrative of social media. They want to hear the real. They want to know what's really going on. Why was some? This is what goes down when you sign those contracts. This is what goes down when you get those record deals. And I told y'all, YouTube is the new portal. Oh, I've been again, salute to everybody that been in tune with this channel. I've been telling y'all, YouTube is the new portal. A long time ago, all they were doing was record label, get his record contract, sign his contract, we gonna line you up. Sign his contract, we gonna line you up. You good? Your gum is on the but it's not double minute spearmint. That's all they had. Yeah, I figured that. I just got you something anyway. Just that they didn't have nothing but. It's in the oven, so you don't gotta make the size right just yet. And then we'll double back and like maybe like when I get done with this, we'll, double back and start moving stuff out your closet. Yeah, man, keep cooking for the babies. You know, that's grown man business. That's a part of the grown man business. But let's stay on track with this. YouTube is the new portal, my G. YouTube. So yeah. Let's let's see who's popping on YouTube. Let's see who has some traction. Let's give them some traction. Let's give them some motion because we control the algorithm. And if you play ball, you can turn your YouTube channel and your YouTube content to a real live podcast. Oh, but listen. When you go from YouTube to a podcast, it's time to now sign contracts. Oh, we're gonna give you the money. We not worried about the money. The higher ups and the elites, they not worried about the money. They know you worried about the money. That's one of the things that make grown man business dangerous. That's what make me dangerous is that they know I'm not moved by the money. I'm good. I, I'm good. Keep the 100 million. I'm all right. Keep the 100 million. Why you think young Dolph had to go? Dolph said, I'm good. Keep the 22 million. I'm good. When you moving like that, when your integrity is high like that, when you're conscious like that, when your third eye's that wide open where you can look past $100 million, you can look past $22 million, that's when they want to smoke you. That's when you're dangerous. You're not dangerous because you got 600 sheep in your live chat. You're not dangerous because you think that you can move from YouTube to creating a podcast. Actually, you're becoming more of a puppet. The closer you leave from YouTube to going to these podcast arenas, you become more of a puppet. You become more of a puppet. The closer you get to the podcast game, the closer you think a bag is coming. And the closer you get to a bag is the closer you get to these contracts that's coming. And yeah, right when it's time for you to get the bag, you're going to sign the contract. You're going to sign the contract, my G. That's where we differ at. That's where me and Lil Zippy with the Drippy and all these other upcoming YouTubers, that's where we differ at. Yeah, I've been presented. The door's been open. I could have easily had an Empire Death Row Records podcast. I could have easily had, exposing the higher ups and the elites, move that into a podcast. I don't want the money, homie. I'm well aware what comes with it. I'm well aware of what comes with it. And me personally, I'm good. I'd rather get it on my own. I'd rather get it out the mud. I'm not putting the sack. Nah, I'm not with none of that. I'm not with it. Gillie and Wallow know what they got into when they signed that contract. It didn't look like a joyous occasion. R.I.P. to Gillie's son. Again, you got to ask yourself, Gillie and Wallow signed the $100 million contract, and Gillie's son is still in Philadelphia in the trenches. His son is still in the trenches with people able to access him to smoke his boots like that. These questions got to be, when you ask these questions just to yourself and you start to looking around it don't make sense. It's actually showing you that the sacrifice is right in front of your face. They're not able to hide it. They're able to disguise. They're able to disguise, but they're not able to fully hide it. They got to show you. They got to give it to you. And if you're smart enough, if you know, you know. If you know, you know. This is a prime example. Okay, let me give you some more game, right? Let me show you how it works. Hold on. Joe Budden, right? When Joe Budden was coming up and he was creating content, there was nothing sassy about Joe Budden's. When Joe Budden's was coming up and he was with Slaughterhouse, it was nothing sassy about Joe Budden's. You understand me? Joe Budden's came from Slaughterhouse and Eminem. There was nothing sassy. He came to YouTube. He started working with DJ Academics. It wasn't really anything sassy. Once Joe Budden's got rid of his two co-hosts, signed the real deal, signed on the dotted line, and created this Joe Budden podcast as we know it today, or he's sassier than ever. I mean, Joe Budden's, anytime I see Joe Budden's on the YouTube, in the short clips, he got his toes out. I mean, he got chicletas on with his heels and his toes out. He got a man purse. Every episode, he got a man purse on. Joe Budden's. Joe Budden's have actually basically said that he's bi. He when he answers questions, he lets you know that he's bi. He likes men and women. He's a part of the Rainbow Coalition. This all came after Joe Budden signed the big contract. The big contract. Not the little contract. Not when he had Roy, what's the boy's name? Joe and Mal, Roy and Mal. He had them guys on the podcast. That's when he was right at the door. He had Mal and the white boy. That's when he was right at the door. And he tried to play it sweet, and they left, or he fired them because they wasn't playing ball. And after he got rid of the two guys, they wasn't playing ball. He went into the door. He signed the contract. But listen, he's not willing to give up a sacrifice. Joe Budden is willing to play both coalition. Joe Budden is willing to have his toes out. So you see Joe Budden's with his feet out. Joe Budden is a part of the Rainbow Coalition now. He pushes that agenda. He doesn't go against it. He doesn't push against that agenda. He pushes for that agenda. So you're not going to really have to worry about Joe Budden's having a crazy sacrifice like Gillie. He wears chicletas with his toes out. I mean, disgusting work, my G's. Joe Budden at this point is disgusting work. This is what's on the other side for you YouTubers that's forcing and praying for a podcast. This is what's on the other side. Don't listen. Just always understood. I told you first. I said it first. You understand? I said it first. I told y'all a long time ago that YouTube is the new portal. It's only going to go up from here. It's only going to get worse from here. It's only going to be more humiliation rituals and more sacrifices from here when it comes to these podcasters. Yeah, R.I.P. the cheese, man. R.I.P. the cheese. How is it that your daddy just got $50 million and somehow you haven't been briefed? You should have been briefed. Listen, man, we just signed the contract. We just signed the contract for $100 million. Me and your uncle, me and your cousin Wallow. We just signed the contract for $100 million. You understand me? I'm not bending, breaking, or folding for the higher ups and the elites. I'm not with the Rainbow Coalition. I'm not pushing the agenda that they want me to push. So you got to be extra careful, little cheese. That mean, no. Listen, son, I'm telling you. That mean you got to kind of stay out of Philly. You need to be laying low. You need to have a scrap on. You need to have your eyes open, your head on a swivel at all times. But you need to stay out of the trenches. I just signed for $50 million. Big check. Big check. Listen, I'm gonna hit you with 800,000. I'm gonna hit you with $1 million. I need you to go buy a house. I need you to lay low, and I need you to start producing. I need you to start producing, homie. Start a podcast. Start a group. Okay, y'all got a rap group. We got to start producing. I'm under the thumb of the higher ups and the elites. I have signed my name on the contract, and the last thing I want is something that happened to you, little cheese. That's the last thing I want. That's what should have been said to little cheese. Now, hold on, guys. Y'all rocking with me, man. So we locked in. Y'all already know how I do. Let me cut the light on in here. We're going to talk about Kodak Black, but hold on real quick. Rock with me. The sun done went down, so I'm about to light the pool up. You already know how I do. See it? About to light it up, though. Rock with me real quick. We gonna keep the pool on a solid color tonight. I think we gonna do purple. Nice dark purple. Yeah, we're gonna do a nice dark purple. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Yeah, got the pool lit up. You know how we give it up. Now let's talk about Kodak Black, man. Let's give Kodak Black a few minutes. I wanted to use, 25 to 30 minutes and really break down the Gillie situation. You know, it's a sad situation, but it is absolutely identifiable for what it is. Sacrifice. Now, let's talk about Kodak Black. We all know Kodak Black has recently let everybody know that he has a verse or he has a song with 6ix9ine. The legendary rat, the legendary snitch 6ix9ine, and he's saying that he was paid $1 million. He was paid $1 million to do this song with 6ix9ine. He was paid $1 million, or somebody told me last night it was 3.5 million, whatever millions it was. He was paid to do this song with 6ix9ine, and a lot of people are in the DMs and they're saying, "Damn, Big G and BTV, what's going on? Why would he do that? Why is he doing a song with? Why would he do that?" And I'm here to tell you, see, what you gotta understand is Kodak Black had a song called Super Gremlin a year ago. A year ago, it came out on YouTube. That song is at 280 million views. So for a while, Lil Kodak Black was producing for the higher ups and the elites. There was no reason for them to really attack him. And when you look at, and again, I said this in the last live, but it got taken down, right? So I'm gonna say it here, right? Y'all, everybody in the chat and everybody that taps into this live, go look at the Super Gremlin video. Super Gremlin, we all know the song. We used to be superstars. We all know the song, Super Gremlin. But what I want you to do is I want you to mute that video. I want you to mute it. We already know the song. Mute the video and look at the imagery in the video, and you'll understand how Kodak Black was working for the higher ups and elites, how he was pushing the satanic agenda. It's either going to be the LBG 123 ABC community agenda, or it's going to be a satanic agenda. You're going to push one of the two. You're going to push the rainbow flag, or you're going to push a pentagram and an upside down cross and horns and stuff all in your videos or all in your podcast. Whatever kind of media you do when you bow down, that's what you're going to do. And that's what Kodak Black was doing. In that video, when you mute it and look at the video, it's all kind of satanic. In the beginning of the video, Kodak Black walks up to a door and he's banging on that door. He's telling the higher ups and the elites to let me in. Let me in. And he's trying to figure out why they won't open the door. And when that door opens, it's a woman behind that door with horns. And she's dancing around and being very seductive. And Kodak Black falls into her arms. And here we are. You understand? But that was a year ago. So it's, hey, when's the last time you heard a Kodak Black song, a new Kodak Black song that's producing? He's not producing. So what they do, again, like I told you, and it applies to these YouTubers, they're going to build you up, homie. They're going to build you up to the highest level they feel they can get you. And then they're going to watch you crash out. They're going to watch you crash. So we're going to build you up, right? And when you stop producing at this level, we have ways to help you produce at this level and even higher. How? Well, if somebody was to be sacrificed next to you, you be the headline. You be at the front of headlines for the next 2 weeks. If we snatch, we sacrifice some of your peoples. Or if you do a song with a rap, if we humiliate you, let us humiliate you, Kodak Black. Kodak Black, don't worry, let us humiliate you, and we'll definitely get you back in the algorithm. If you let us humiliate you, everybody will be talking about you. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's how And that's why he's doing a song with 6ix9ine. It's his humiliation ritual is being televised. It's always going to be in public. It's not going to be a time where your humiliation ritual is going to be in private ever. So that's what he's going through right now. He's being humiliated. And guess what? He's the top of the headlines. Everybody's talking about Kodak Black and everybody's talking about 6ix9ine. That was the purpose. That was the motive. That's what we was trying to do. And here we are, Kodak Black. We talking about you. Oh, you was a leader of the Zoes. Well, maybe you didn't know that you was the leader of the Zoes, but the Zoes follow you. The street dudes in Florida, the street Haitians, they all rock with Kodak Black. We're gonna kill two birds with one stone. We're gonna humiliate you, and we're gonna you know listen, and we're gonna stop all of that leader talk. You can't be the leader of the Zoes. You can't have any followers, real street followers. If you done bowed down and did a song with 6ix9ine, Kodak Black, that kills your image. It's over. The image that we helped build for you, the higher ups and elites, they built Kodak Black. They produced him and showed everybody who he was. And he was a, he was a project baby. You ain't no project baby now. You thought Trump was gonna get you out of jail and you was just gonna run scot-free? Oh, you forgot. You forgot, Kodak. You thought we was gonna let Trump free you and you just was gonna run off. Ask yourself this question. We saw Kodak a few weeks ago on some real hard drugs, and he was on the ground and he was talking to himself, and he was just out of his body with these drugs, and everybody said Kodak's going crazy. Everybody said we need to look, something's wrong with Kodak. Ain't nothing wrong with Kodak. He getting dumb high because he knows what's coming. He knows. We might not know, but he knows what he owes the higher ups and the elites, and he knows how far it could go. He knows somebody could die. And he found a way. Hey, little man, shoot, whew. They said I could do a song with 6ix9ine. That's sufficient. That's enough. they we, and it don't ever stop. Why you think Kurt Cobain blew his brains out? Because it does never stops. Okay, do a song with 6ix9ine, but then the next year, Kodak Black, I mean, if you ain't producing, if you ain't got another super gremlin, we need to do another humiliation ritual, or we need to smoke some sacrifice time. Sacrifice time, yeah. Gillie, his integrity, high integrity. You're not going to see Gillie at the all-white parties. Well, Gillie, we need you at the all-white party. We need photos of you like we got a little baby and 4 pockets full, because little baby was at that party and he was hugged up and he was 4 pockets full, literally. little baby had 4 pockets full of cock. Lil Baby had 4 pockets full of eggplant, and he was smiling so hard. Lil Baby was smiling so big that you could see his wisdom teeth in the back. Yo, this nigga Lil Baby was smiling so hard you could see his molars. This nigga teeth all the way back here. That's how big he was smiling for them dudes that have them 4 pockets. Lil Baby, you was 4 pockets full. And Gillie, if you ain't, again, like I said, Gillie ain't willing to push the agenda. That photograph single-handedly might have ended Lil Baby's career. That photograph of Lil Baby sandwiched in with cock in the back and cock in the front. All 4 pockets was full of cock. That photo alone might have single-handedly ended Lil Baby's career. So that's a whole nother issue. That's a whole nother story with Lil Baby. I could really, Lil Baby, they don't mind his career being damaged and tarnished by that photograph, because Lil Baby already done did some things at that party. Lil Baby done already Listen, I know it's hard. I know a lot of y'all like Lil Baby, but I'm telling y'all, Lil Baby done already got high, got drunk, had something put in his drink, and he done already, they done did something to Lil Baby. They done already did something to Lil Baby. Meek Mill as well. I don't call him Meek Mill. I call him Bunny Hoppin' Meek. Oh, oh, Bunny Hoppin' Meek. That's what I call him. Hold on. So Gillie done cracked the code, got his hands on a contract, $100 million, and has yet to be photographed at an all-white party, has yet to be photographed at a mansion party, has yet to be photographed at a Rock Nation brunch. So you mean to tell me we ain't got you, we ain't had you busted wide open. You won't put a rainbow flag inside your podcast. You won't wear a pentagram or upside down cross. You won't push the satanic agenda. What do you want us to do, Gillie? We got to take some out. We got to take some out. Yeah, we got to take something, homie. We don't have no choice. You got to pay. Look, I mean, would you do a song with 6ix9ine, Gillie the Kid? If we just got Kodak Black to do a song with 6ix9ine, it would be beautiful if we can get you to do a song. I mean, real street Philly dude to do a song with 6ix9ine as well. That would be amazing. You're not willing to do that either, though, I'm sure. All right. And you're telling me that his son is still in Philly. His son is his firstborn. Ooh. Not just any son, but his firstborn is still in Philadelphia after we done gave him $100 million, huh? Well, that sound about right then. that sound divine. That sounds like universal law. That sounds like it was supposed to happen. Line it up. Yeah. You understand me? In blood. And I'm gonna tell you something though. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. They didn't they they would have preferred, trust me, trust what I'm telling you. Because Gillie the Kid, his son, the way he died, hundreds and thousands of black men die like that every year. It's nothing really special. The only thing that makes it special and significant is that his dad is Gillie the Kid, and that's what's going to make it make headlines. You understand what I'm saying? Like, his son wasn't even the only one that got shot. It was some other people that got shot. We don't even know their names because they parents ain't famous. We don't need to know who they are. They could, if they was, they lived, but if they was to pass away, they'd just be more casualties of war. The only thing that makes Gillie the Kid's son worth talking about is his dad, right? So it was $100 million, but you got to know that they would have rather Gillie put a dress on. Oh, they would have rather his son stay alive and watch his daddy put a dress on. They would have rather his son be alive and watch his daddy go take a movie role where he's kissing a man. They'd rather his son be alive and Gillie and Wallow play nut the butt like Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy. DJ Envy and Charlemagne the God. They have already chosen the LBG 123 route. DJ Envy says, I'm not a homosexual. I'm not into that. But you play nut the butt with Charlemagne every day for that bag, for that check that you get. You play nut the butt. Y'all play all kind of homosexual games with each other. Two grown men. It's crazy. So the higher ups and elites would have rather Gillie and Wallow say, listen, man, we're gonna do like Charlemagne the God and DJ Envy. We're gonna push your narrative. Don't worry. We're gonna push your narrative. We're gonna push your agenda. We're gonna play nut the butt. We're gonna make funny jokes to each other. We're gonna talk about each other's penises, and we're gonna do those things. They would have rather that. Trust me. They didn't want blood from them. Two dudes like Gillie and Wallow with high street credibility, high integrity. They wanted the Rainbow Coalition. They wanted Gillie to somehow put a dress on. They wanted Gillie to somehow end up at one of these all-white parties. You think he wasn't invited? Gillie, $1 million worth of game, Wallow. These dudes is they're high up in the industry. They're right up there, right there with, Charlemagne the God and Lil Baby and these guys on a certain level. If the higher ups and elites thought, look, we can get them to one of these parties and we can get Lil Gillie 4 pockets full, just like we had Lil Baby Lil Baby, you was 4 pockets full, man. From the front, your front 2 pockets was full and your back 2 pockets was full, and you was smiling like, listen, excuse me. You was smiling, my G, like you ain't never smiled before, man. And I want to adjust that. But if they could have got Gillie to do that, his son would still be alive. His son would still be alive. If they could have got Gillie to bunny hop like bunny hop and Meek, if they could have got Gillie to bunny hop on that tennis court like bunny hop and Meek, his son would still be alive. You understand what I'm saying to you? Wallow's next. I'm sorry to say it. You know what I'm saying? And again, you ain't gonna hit us nowhere else. Wallow's next. Everybody should keep an eye on Wallow. And I'm not saying that somebody's gonna get sacrificed. I'm not saying that he's gonna lose somebody. What I'm saying is Wallow is something's gonna happen next with Wallow. He's gonna have a rainbow flag on his shirt. He's gonna have some upside down cross earrings like Lil Uzi Vert. Like, he's gonna do something that's gonna surprise us. And I would say within the next 2 months, and then within the next 60 days, Wallow is gonna have to make a move. The higher ups and the elites play chess at the highest level. They play chess at the highest level. And now they already checkmated Gillie. That's a checkmate. You in, you already in, you been in, but now we done certified and stamped you. You ain't got no wiggle room, Lil Gillie. You couldn't back out of this if you wanted to. You couldn't back out of that contract. You couldn't back out of this if you wanted to, homie. It's over for you. But Wallow, they haven't broke Wallow yet. They just broke Gillie. That was a kill shot. No pun intended. But that was a kill shot. That was a headshot. That's a checkmate right there. They didn't just check you, but they made it you. Yeah, they made it you, Lil Gillie. But Wallow is a man of integrity. 25 years in jail. He speak what he speak. He stand on what he stand on. And trust me, they trying to figure out a way to show us the other side of Wallow. That $100 million they wanted to trust me. Yeah, but see, the problem is, Solo Warrior, is that we on the Puff. Puff done got high, Puff done got drunk, Puff done did some moves that was out of pocket that the higher ups and elites probably didn't, they didn't stamp that. When Puff went to Nori's podcast, Drink Champs, and he was telling Fab he wants to party with him, Puff was high, my G. Puff was on something, and that was, the problem is a lot of us are on to Puff. So he's still a tool. He's still being used, but Puff ain't being used like he used to. These all white parties, Rick Rubin, these dudes are the new Puffies. Rick Rubin is the new Puff Daddy. Rick Rubin is the new Quincy Jones. Like, Rick Rubin is the new and improved Puffy. He's it. So yeah, you could kind of rub shoulders with Puffy now. That it's like Puffy's not that. Puffy's still a tool for guys that don't really know and guys that will allow Puffy, but Puffy just indulging now in that say he just indulging in that world now. He got Carisha. They say, he was smashing what's the dude name? Santana, so many to keep up with, but they say he had Carisha, and then he was busting down the Santana boy, that the black boy, he was busting him down. The Santana boy, he was hitting him. So Puffy now just indulging in, you know, the festivities of the situation. Nah, they podcast not funded by Puff. They podcast is might be on Revolt. You understand? Like I said, Puffy is still a tool, but it's the same white guy that called Angela Reese a nappy headed N-word and said that she ain't have no class, X, Y, and Z. That's the guy. That's the white guy that paid them that 100 million. It wasn't Puffy. You understand what I'm saying? And these dudes, yeah. Their podcast is distributed by Revolt. But listen to me. The guys that gave Wallow and Gillie that $100 million was not Puffy. It was some other white dude that locked them in. There's some other white dude that locked them in, homie. You understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that Puffy ain't got nothing to do. I'm saying Puffy is still a tool. He has Revolt. He has these different brands that they can use to lure in these young podcasters, these young content creators. Yeah, there you go. That guy. You understand what I'm saying? So Puffy's still a tool, but back in the day, Puffy was a tool. He was the man. He was the actual guy. He was like Rick Rubin. He was having these parties at his mansions. Puffy was. He was having parties at Jamie Foxx's mansion. And this is where he would have all the new talent and all. Jamie Foxx tells these stories. Why you think Jamie Foxx is in the position he's in? Jamie Foxx told mad stories that he didn't understand, that people like me, people with their third eye open, could break them stories down and see through the smoke and mirror. He told a story where he had threw a party, him and Puffy threw a party at his house, and a young Kanye West was there, all the young stars, and he said it, we would throw these parties and invite all the young talent, all the new stars. You understand what I'm saying? Jamie Foxx's interviews of him saying this. And he was gonna do a book, and here we are. Jamie Foxx might we don't even know if he's alive. He might be that dude riding on that yacht they say was Jamie Foxx looked like a whole clone to me. That didn't even I don't believe it. I need to see Jamie Foxx in the camera. That shit might be a stunt devil still, or you understand what I'm saying? Puffy used to be that guy. Puffy not that guy no more, but Puffy is still a tool. Like I say, when you get that far in, like these dudes is, you can never back out. You just get old and contribute what you can contribute. Okay, well, Puffy, everybody knows that Puffy's bisexual. Everybody knows what Puffy's been doing all of these years. So let's just give the new podcasters the opportunity to be on Revolt, which is owned by Puffy. That we'll do the distribution through Revolt. We'll use Puffy and we'll use but we can't get Puffy get these guys to these parties. They already know what Puffy want. They seen Puffy tell Fabulous how he wanted the party, and I mean, God damn it, I told Puffy to put that coke down. We told old Puffy Diddy Combs to put the coke down and to stop smoking that damn K2. We told his ass, and he got high. He got high as a goddamn giraffe's ass, and he went on there. He went on the goddamn, hey, Bob, what's the name of that goddamn podcast that boy went on, Bob? Oh, yeah, the Drink Champ podcast. He went in, Puffy Daddy, Puffy Honeycomb Diddy. He went there on the Drink Champ podcast, and he just couldn't resist his urges to want to lay down with Fabulous. Yeah, old Fabulous. The bro, The Brooklyn boy with the waves all around his head, fabulous. He Puffy wanted Puffy. Oh, he got so aroused when he looked at Fabulous that we can't hide him no more. Everybody, we can't hide his sexuality no more. So now these young boys is kind of scared. All these young boys, we can't get them to a Puffy party. We tell them Puff Daddy having a party and nobody shows up because they saw him advance Fabulous. They saw what Puffy wanted from Fabulous, and these young boys. Did you see how Jada kid? Hey Bob, hey Bob, did you see how old Jada, Jason Jada kissed? Did you see how he was looking at Puffy? Yeah. We'd never be able to get our hands on a Jada kiss. We'd have to just let old Jason. But and Puffy, Fabulous and Puffy. So Puff Daddy's not Rick Rubin now. Rick Rubin has taken the lane now. Yeah, I'm gonna tell you something. The way he was hugging Lil Baby from the back, shoving cock all in his back pockets. Listen, the way Rick Rubin was hugging Lil Baby from the back and shoving cock all down his back pockets and had Lil Baby smiling for the camera like, yo, he is the new Puffy. That is the new Puffy. That guy has he has the industry in the palm of his hands. He has your favorite rapper. He has video of your favorite rapper. Listen to me. Why you think Lil Baby ain't came out and gave like a real hard statement on this? He kept it real light. He said, y'all tripping, man. It ain't nothing. It ain't nothing like that. Don't ask no questions, please, because I don't want nothing else. I don't want nothing else to come out. So he was just a little drunk, and that's it. That's how Lil Baby responded. But in all reality, Lil Baby or somebody would have been like, bro, X, Y, and Z, Lil Baby would have did like a whole press conference. Like, nah, nigga, I ain't like that. I don't know what was going on. They took some weird but he ain't say much because Lil Baby been compromised. Little Baby been compromised. They got video of Lil Baby. Allegedly. I'm gonna say allegedly because you know these rappers they'll fuck around and try to sue you like Cardi B. They'll sue you like Cardi B, but we all know Cardi B admitted to robbing and drugging men. Her day is gonna come too. Her day is gonna come too, but that's a whole nother live. Yeah, 50 Cent. 50 Cent. See, Fabulous was finicky. Fabulous didn't wanna react because he's been compromised. Trust me, bro. Trust me. A young Fabulous when he was FABOLOUS, when he was that fab, when he was spelling his name out, he used to go to those mansion parties. And it's not to say that you will actually go in there and willingly bust it wide open, but they'll slide things in your drink. They'll sprinkle things in the weed that you're smoking. They'll get you intoxicated to where they'll immobilize you, and then they'll record. They compromised Fabulous, allegedly, right? And that's why when Puffy was looking him in his eyes and saying, boy, I want to party with you, boy. You know what kind? He was like, what you mean? You party? He was like, you know what type of partying I'm talking. Listen, this is it. That's what Diddy told him. He was so high. Diddy was so intoxicated. Diddy said, you know what I'm talking about. What the fuck, what you mean? Now imagine he would have did that to Kiss. I remember watching that video, and I remember watching how Jada Kiss, how Jada Kiss was looking at Fabulous. Like, nigga, if you come over here, if you play with me, I'm gonna do something to you. And this the thing. Did he know Jada Kiss ain't compromised himself? Did he know that Jada Kiss is not Mace? Yeah. We heard what Cameron said about. Listen, did he know that Jada Kiss will fully react because there are no secret videos of Jada Kiss doing anything? There are no secret videos of Sheik Luch doing anything. There are no secret videos of Styles P doing anything. So he knew better. As high as Diddy was, as drunk as Diddy was, he knew better than to go towards Jada Kiss, but he kept his focus on Fabulous. And he told Fabulous, I want to party with you, boy. Fabulous said, nah, man, I mean, we partied already. We partied already. Yeah, when you was at my birthday party, we partied. Nah, I ain't talking about that kind of party. And you know what I'm talking about. He was like, you know what I'm talking about. In fact, and Fabulous was praying. If you look at that video again, and you look in Fabulous' eyes right here, he was praying that Diddy didn't, he was praying he didn't say nothing else. And he was praying, he just was praying to God, bro. And, you know, Diddy know that Mace, that Jada Kiss ain't Mace. We all heard what Cameron said about Mace. And if you don't know, I'm going to tell you. Cameron said back in the day when Diddy and Mace was sharing a condo, Mace told him to come over. Diddy wasn't there. Cameron said, hey, Mace, I need to use the bathroom. Mace said, go ahead, not paying attention that he didn't clean up everything yet. And when Cameron went into the bathroom, it was a dildo on the sink. This is how I got to 15,000 subscribers. This is really how I got the numbers I got talking about the high. Diddy had left the dildo that they was using on the sink. And Cameron saw it. He saw the dildo. And he asked him, yo, what's this? And this what Mace said. He said, man, you know how homeboy do, man. This, that, and the third. But like Cam said, this ain't homeboy bathroom. This is your bathroom. I don't know what Diddy bathroom. This is your bathroom. Why is the dildo in your bathroom? It is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. So Gillie and Wallow, yes, their podcast is distributed by Revolt. But that old, what's his name? The other guy's the one who gave them the money. He's the one who lined them up. He's the one who said, listen, Diddy couldn't get, listen, Gillie and Wallow would not take $100 million from Diddy. Knowing how Diddy get down. They would not take, these rappers, most of these young up and coming artists, we all know how Diddy is giving it up. Diddy can't even hide it no more. It's in his eyes. He can't help it. He can't help it. So, you know, Gillie and Wallow wouldn't have took the money from Diddy. He could have made them take $100 million. But what we do is we got new gatekeepers. We got fresh young blood billionaires that you know, y'all intrigued by this money. Oh, y'all love a billionaire. Look how Bunny Hop and Meek, y'all love a billionaire. Well, we got a couple of billionaires. We got Rick Rubin and we got a couple of these other dudes, and you know, they gonna hang with y'all a little bit. They gonna start loosening up around y'all. They gonna start letting y'all get around them, and hopefully, if you do the right thing, they'll let you in on a couple of business opportunities. You want to be a billionaire, right? Yeah. Yeah, see, that's what I mean. That's a perfect example. You know, Birdman, what he did. Well, we all know how Birdman giving it up. Ain't nobody in a rush to get in bed with Birdman. Ain't nobody in a rush. Birdman is begging for artists right now. He be begging for artists. He'll do anything. But we all saw you know, tongue kissing Lil Wayne and look back in the day. We saw y'all kissing on the mouth, bro. Nobody really wants to get down with Birdman. We know what y'all doing. They got new billionaires. They got new recruiters now. And Rick Rubin is the main and head recruiter. Rick Rubin got your favorite artist in the chokehold. Rick Rubin got your favorite rap artist on video. So it is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be, man. Again, you know, R.I.P. to the mac and cheese dude, man. R.I.P. to Gillie the Kid, son. You know, it's tragic. It's tragic, man. But it just, when you know what's going on in this industry, when you know what these dudes is, when you know what they doing, it's hard to like really feel. And you know, and again, this is the thing, right? When your eyes open and you start to see through the smoke and mirrors, man, it's, you can never go back. You can never go back. And then everything that they do, it's just obvious. Like my son, my son came on to YouTube and Instagram, and he posted a video, and he said that he couldn't sleep last night after what happened to Gillie the kid's son, and he was so upset, and you know, he just couldn't sleep. And you gotta ask yourself, you know, these two, a 12-year-old and a 6-year-old got shot in Brooklyn about a week ago. You didn't post nothing when that happened. It's little kids getting smoked every day in Brooklyn, New York through this drill rap. And innocent people are losing their lives as well in New York right now. And you don't see my son losing sleep over that. But soon as Gillie loses his son, sacrifices his son, whatever you want to, you know, now you can't sleep and you doing videos and you understand, like, this shit is crazy, bro. And it's so obvious now. It's just very obvious. It's like, how are you so distraught about something that happened in Philadelphia when it's happening every day times 10 in your own city? My son, man, these rappers are actors. And again, I'm gonna stay on this, but I'm telling y'all, YouTube is the new portal. These content creators are gonna be the next big thing when it comes to sacrifices, when it comes to humiliation. These podcasters, these content creators, these are the dudes that they're gonna put in the forefront. The rapper is listen to me. The rapper is fading out. Oh, the rapper. It's always going to be rappers, right? But the integrity of the rapper is getting slimmer and slimmer. Every other rapper, we got video of them snitching. Every other rapper, we got video of them either telling or doing some Rainbow Coalition activity, and their rapper's integrity is dying out. Next up will be the podcast creators, the content creators, the YouTubers, the big YouTubers, the big content creators, the big podcasters. These are the dudes who are gonna start taking the place of the rappers. And you heard it here first. I don't do it for numbers, my G. I do it because it's real. It's real. You understand? You heard it here first. You ain't hearing nobody talking like this. The YouTubers in so these dudes that's dying to be YouTubers, just hold your horses, homie. These dudes that's dying to start podcasts, these dudes are dying to get their podcasts off the ground. Just hold your horses, homie. You will get your opportunity. Oh, and you either gonna be eating cock or yeah, or you gonna do something. You gonna do something. You gonna do something. You are the new rapper, you podcaster. Oh, you can't wait to get your Let's Get to That podcast off the ground. Listen, hold your horses. Don't worry. Don't fret. You're gonna get your opportunity. And don't worry, they're gonna record your opportunity. And as soon as they feel like you out of line, as soon as you not producing, trust me, they're gonna expose your opportunity. You got Gunna. You got Kodak Black doing a song with 6ix9ine. You got King Von blowing kisses at the inmates, talking about he part of the Rainbow Coalition, going to protective custody. You got Lil TJ, what's his name? Tay J or J Tay. Scott got the dude sitting on his lap, kissing him in the mouth. They recording him. Yeah, the rappers are losing integrity. The rap is dying out. It's over. Yeah. Y'all gonna be able to create music and stream, but your integrity, we will no longer believe you rappers. See, we grew up believing you rappers. We grew up believing your lyrics. That's all dying out. Who's gonna replace that? The podcasters. Oh, y'all the real ones now. The podcasters are the real ones. Oh, and to sacrifice your son of a real one, that's what they want to do. To sacrifice, to humiliate a real one, that's what they're going to do. Y'all are next up. So congratulations. Congratulations. When you do your podcast and you sign a contract and you get that big check, you think we gonna be jealous of you? You think we gonna be just this is why this is what separates grown man business from all of these YouTubers, homie. I live a certain way already. I'm already good. So you can't trick me with the smoke and mirrors of money. I'm good already. And even if I don't want your 100, you offer me $100 million to do a podcast, don't line up in my nah, that's not in my that don't line up in the universe for me. I'm good. Keep your money. These dudes is dying to get podcasts. They using the YouTube platform to transcend into podcasting, not understanding that they already got you lined up. If it was that easy, if it wasn't that serious, Gillie and Wallow would have never had to sign a contract. Why do they gotta sign a contract? Yo, your podcast is jumping. Everybody likes $1 million worth of game. We want to get in business with you. H, Y, and Z. What do you want to do? This is how we going to do it. But why do you need to sign a contract? Lil Zippy, you will in due time have to sign a contract, Lil Zip, with the drip. And they already know you was stuff K2 up your back. Oh, you was stuffing drugs and batteries up your a-hole when you was in jail. So they already know that you willing to stuff something in your a-hole. You're going to get a contract soon, Lil Zippy. And you should understand, we're not going to be jealous or envious. Once you tell us, yo, the podcast is on Revolt, we signing a contract, we already know what you had to do to get it. And if the people don't know, I'm just gonna tell them. Same thing with Gillie and the kids. No disrespect. It's all respect. It's really all RIP. But when you signed that $100 million contract, why would they make these dudes is worth billions of dollars? Why would they make you sign a contract? Because you're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay up. You're gonna pay up. And sometimes it's in blood, homie. Sometimes it's in Rainbow Coalition activity too. That's what they did to Lil Baby. They ain't make him sacrifice nobody. Lil Baby smiling too big with 4 pockets full. He got one, he got two, they got him stuffed in the front and stuffed in the back, and he look a little too happy to be stuffed like that. So it is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. You feel what I'm saying? Not gonna stay too long. But like I said, listen, when you see these dudes signing contracts and getting money with the higher ups and elites, don't be envious. You should be thankful. Be thankful that you got a 9-to-5 job. Be thankful that you getting your money in the way that you want, and you don't have to do what these dudes is doing for these large lump sums of money, because they paying, homie. They paying. And then the first thing they try to make you do is feel like, oh, you ain't doing something right, or they doing something better. Nah. Nah. They ain't doing. Why Fab been rapping for a long time. We ain't never heard Fab rap about partying with Diddy. All the punchlines Fab give us, all the gems and jewels he drop in his rhymes, all the sophisticated, articulated everything he give us in them bars. But we ain't never heard about them parties you been at, Fab. We ain't never heard about what Diddy wanted to do with you. They don't talk about that. They don't. The Gillie and them was crying when they signed that $100 million contract, but they ain't tell us why they was crying. They made it seem like it was the best and the biggest day of their life, and it wasn't. It was far from it. It was far from it. You understand what I'm saying? These jail dudes, when they go to jail, they don't talk about all the batteries they shoved up their a-holes. They don't talk about all the ounces of K2 they were shoving up their a-hole. They were shoving foreign objects up their a-holes. And then they look at us and tell us, I had to do what I had to do. Anybody that tell you he had to do what he had to do, you need to look at him sideways. Because it's not just the jail dudes, the artists. Well, why was you at that mansion party? Why was you at that Conway the Machine? Look at one of my old videos. Conway the Machine was at one of Diddy's last parties in his boxes, in a jacuzzi with Puffy. It was Conway. I'm talking Griselda music. I did that video. It's like one of my first videos. Within my first 10 or 15 videos I ever did. Diddy was in the pool. He was in a jacuzzi with 4 or 5 men, son. And it was all in boxes. They was in boxes, bro. Conway the Machine. Oh, don't think about it. They definitely went through the door. They went through the door. There is no turning back for them now. There is no turning back. There is no turning back for them now. You understand what I'm saying? It is what it is, and it'll be what it's going to be. But these dudes never going to tell. They only going to flaunt the jewelry in front of you. You understand? They only going to flaunt the money. You know, they get that $100 million. We see Wallow buying cars. We see Wallow buying Lamborghinis, X, Y, and Z. They only going to flaunt the things that they feel like we want. They're never going to flaunt the sacrifice. They're never going to flaunt the things that they know they have to do in due time. They're never going to talk about that. It's up to you to look within and see that. And when they signed that contract, I saw it through the smoke and mirrors. They did not look happy. That did not look like tears of joy to me. It looked like tears. It looked like tears of fear to me. Fear of who they was going to have to give up. Fear of who was going to have to pay the ultimate price for this $100 million. One thing I can tell you, stay on course. Stay on your purpose. These entertainers, these celebrities, they are actually put in place to divert you, to distract you, to make you feel like you're not doing enough, to make you feel like you want what they got. You don't want what they got. And trust me, you don't want to walk the road that they had to walk to get it. You don't want to have to go to one of these industry parties to get what they got. So they try to make you feel, and that's one of the reasons why I was kind of like pressing Lil Zippy, because he's brainwashed as well. He thinks that, man, you guys are working a job. I'm not. Yeah, you're not trying to work a job, Lil Zippy. You trying to get in the industry. So we already know what you're going to be willing to do to get into that industry. We already know what you're going to be willing to do. We already know yeah. If you was willing to stuff K2 up your a-hole, we already know what you're going to be willing to do at one of those industry parties when it's time to sign that check, man. So to anybody and to everybody, like, just know that it's an agenda being pushed. It's a chess move being played to make you feel like you should want to be one of them. Nah. Think to yourself and then say, nah, I'm good. I'm good, man. Keep your millions. I'm good. I don't need that. We gonna get it this way. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. It ain't nothing. It ain't, these are the tools and these are the people they're gonna use, little Gillie and Wallows. It's a reason why Gillie and Wallow are always showing us the things that they buy, the things that they got, the things this way, that way, because it makes you want to feel like you want to go and produce you a podcast. And then, yeah, but the entertainment industry is ran by the higher ups and elites. It's almost, it's impossible. It's impossible for you to be a successful podcaster, for you to be a successful anything in the entertainment industry without bowing down to the ones who own it. You just get blackballed out. Everybody who doesn't bow down, they basically get blackballed out. Look, Jadakiss is selling coffee. Jadakiss is a hustler. He's selling coffee. Coffee, because he's selling coffee, Jadakiss. So yeah, go get, do your thing. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be, man. Look, man, I got some things to do. Man. I'm cooking dinner for the family. So listen, man, you already know what time it is. It's your boy, Grown Man Business TV. You can tap in or you can tap out, but you know my slogan. You know what I suggest, and I suggest you tap in. Now listen, it's pretty early, so I'm gonna definitely double back. I'm probably gonna go live again tonight after I feed my girls and put them to, put them to sleep, let them do their thing for the rest of the night. I'm gonna go live again, man. We're gonna tap in again. So salute to everybody that's tapped in. You already know how we do, man. It is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be. But this is grown man business. Grown man business TV at all times. And that's why y'all come here. Y'all don't come here for the extras. Y'all don't come here for the BS. I'm keeping it 100. 100. You want a podcast? I want you to get your podcast. But don't ever lie and act like you ain't gonna have to do what you gotta do for that podcast. Podcasters, content creators, YouTubers, we are next up. And the ones that they know gonna sell their soul, those are the ones that are gonna go first. But the rapper's integrity is over. It's over. It's only getting worse. It's only going to get worse. It's only more videos going to come out. It's more artists that's going to work with 6ix9ine. It's more Gunna Oneers that's going to get on the stand and say, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. The YouTubers are next. The content creators are next. And they priming you up. Gillie is a prime example. He's one of the first. Sacrifice in public. Is what it is, and it'll be what it's gonna be, man. Salute to everybody. I'm gonna tap back in a few hours. All right, gang.